Over 25 years, I've watched thousands of golfers hit golf balls, and I can tell you this, the vast majority of them who struggle fall into one of three categories, and that's what we're talking about today. The three most common mistakes amateur golfers make when swinging the golf club. I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb, Director of Instruction for US Golf TV and the Sanford Power Golf Academy. And the truth of the matter is, doesn't matter what type of golf shot you're hitting, if you're struggling, you're going to have one of these three faults that are probably giving you difficulty, and we're going to talk about that here today. Now, if you haven't already, hey, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Hey, join our community, US Golf TV. This is the place for you. If you love golf and you love working on your game, you have got to be part of our group, because I can tell you this, we're putting out great content. Be sure to subscribe and be sure to ring that bell so you know when new content is coming out. So let's talk about these three things. The first one I want to talk about is the grip. I know you're thinking to yourself, hey, the grip is not real fun to talk about. It doesn't have a lot of pizzazz to it, but I can tell you this, if you're not gripping the club correctly, you're not swinging it the way that you want to. So here's the most common mistake that I see amateur golfers make when it comes to the grip. And that is that they grip the club too much in their palm. So what I mean by that is from your angle right down there, down the line, they position the club right up here in their palm. And then they wrap their fingers around like so, okay? That makes their thumb really long. And then they typically do the same thing with their bottom hand, their trail hand. They kind of grip it in their palm. So they get a grip that looks like something kind of like this. Now that feels very strong and powerful, but the problem is it does not allow you to hinge and leverage the club the way that it's intended to be. All right? Now, how might you know if your grip is bad? Well, the easiest giveaway is that if you're getting holes or tears in your golf glove very quickly. So this glove here, I've had this glove for, quite honestly, about 2 months. Now, I don't play a ton of golf and I don't hit a ton of golf balls, but this grip has lasted me a long time. And you'll notice the wear pattern on it is nice and equal. If you're getting holes in the pad, holes up in the fingers or in the thumb right here, something is wrong with your grip. So what is the correct grip? How should you be doing it? Here's the process. What you're going to do is take the club and hold it in your trail hand. For me, that's my right hand. And put the club at about a 45-degree angle. So this would be 0, this would be 90. Okay, at about a 45-degree angle. And get it up here at eye level so you can see what you're doing. Take your lead hand, your glove hand, right? And just position it so that the club runs kind of down through the fingers and comes right out through the pad, the base of the pad right there. Go ahead and close the hands around. All right, you'll get a look something like that. So notice how the club is running through my fingers this way. And then I'm going to take my trail hand and I'm going to do just the same. I'm going to go ahead and grip it right down here in my fingers like so, all right, and wrap my hands around there together. So now my hands are nice and together, and what this is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to leverage and hinge the club. So this is a great drill for you to do. If your left hand, your lead hand is correct, you should be able to hinge the club nice and correctly like so. So that would be the first suggestion, is you got to check your grip. It's by far the most common mistake that I see amateur golfers make. And we're going to talk about 2 others, and then at the end I'm going to give you a nice bonus tip that you can do at the golf course that's going to help your game immediately. It's not technical, it's super simple, and it really helps a lot of my students. So that's number 1, grip. Number 2 is lack of rotation. Now what do I mean by that? Well, I've got my live view set up. The live view, I use this live view a lot. All right, it's a great device, really good for visual feedback. So I'm set up here and I've got my device set right here, and I've got my live view, and I just took a blue line and kind of put a straight line up and down. Now, a lot of golfers think that they're rotating, but they're not actually rotating. What they're doing is they're drifting, all right? So what do I mean by that? Well, they're set up here, and when they swing the club back, their upper body just drifts away from the target. So they think they're making this nice big turn. So they drift, and you'll notice when I do that, my head here, relative to that blue line, just moves and goes over there. Okay? That's not rotating, turning, that's drifting. Now that's movement, but it's not creating any power or any speed. And when you don't create any, I'm going to call it energy creation in the backswing, your downswing is going to really struggle. So what should it look like? Well, you want to feel like you're actually rotating. So I've got the blue line there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and rotate. So notice how my shoulders have rotated and my head is still on this side of the line. So the line's just off my trail ear, kind of right in there. And when I turn, Okay, see my head stays on this side of the line, but notice my shoulders. Now, here's a great way for you to train that. Take the club, put it across your shoulders like so, and just rotate it. All right, notice that the butt end of the club is pointed back and behind there. This is a great way. Notice the hips turning a little bit, so I'm rotating. All right, I'm not drifting. So that would be the second mistake that I see a lot of amateur golfers make, is they drift off the golf ball versus rotate. All right, number 3, over the top, casting, over the top. You call it whatever you want, but basically what happens is, all right, when they're in there, actually I like to use my live view. I use the same line. There's a couple different ways you can do it. Some people like to put their camera, whatever they're using down the line. You can do it right here. But when we say over the top or casting, what they're saying is that we're here and then the club head goes out. Okay, so notice the club head goes out and the hands stay in. So my hands are inside the blue line, the club head is outside the blue line. That would be what we call casting or over the top, whatever. A couple different ways you can describe that. Now I really think a lot of that has to do with the backswing and the grip. So if you got the grip dialed in, you got your rotation, all right, if you're still coming over the top, all right, that can be a problem. And typically, how do you know if you're doing that? Well, you typically hit a slice, you hit a shot that's weak, or maybe you hit like a low pull hook. Sometimes we'll see some of that, but typically it's a slice. So the fix for that, what you want to work on, so first of all, you want to train the pattern a little bit. So I'm set in here, okay, got my blue line there, take it up. Now when I come down, I'm going to feel my hands work outside the blue line while the club head stays inside the blue line. There we go. See, that's the feel. Notice where the hands are going. Hands are going outside the blue, club head is staying inside. This is the spot. Over the top would be the opposite. Right there, okay? Now, what's a drill you can do to just naturally, instinctively do that? You do a few patterns, get a feel for it. Here's a great drill. Take your setup. All right. Take your lead foot, bring it back to your trail foot like this. Swing the club up and step forward and go ahead and hit it. Okay, let me demonstrate that again. So regular setup, lead foot back, bring the club back a little bit, swing up, step towards the target. Now what happens is that when you're in there and you get stepping this way, that naturally drops the club inside. See that? Boom. That movement of this right here helps that club fall to the inside. So that would be the third thing that I see, and a nice simple way to fix it. So I promised you that I'd give you a nice simple tip that you could do next time you head to the golf course you can just do to help you play better golf. All right? And this one here is really simple. What you're going to do is when you finish your swing, just make sure that your knees are touching. And notice my finish. Focus on your finish position. I'm looking at the target. My hands are right here in front of me and my knees are touching. I'm in balance. Okay, let me demonstrate that again. So many people focus on their takeaway and all these things on the golf course. That's really hard to do. Focus on your finish position. Get in balance, back, boom, get in balance. Notice the relaxed finish, club comes right back down here in front, knees touching, body facing the target. If you focus on this position right here, knees touching, facing the target, you're going to find that you're in balance and you start hitting better golf shots. So I don't care if you've been playing golf for 20, 30, 40 years, or you've been playing golf for 1 year. The vast majority of golfers, if they're struggling, they fall into one of these 3 categories. These 3 ideas, these 3 tips are going to help you start playing better golf.